How's it going, lovely people? My name is Callum and welcome back to another edition of That Liverpool Show. Delighted to be joined by Conroy, Jersey Boy and Finn from Redmen TV. And we will have a couple more joining us as the show progresses. We've got a fun-packed show for you, a lot to get through. There's a little game at the end that I'm going to play with these guys and they don't know what it is yet, so that should be good fun and you guys in the comments can get involved in that as well. So topics of discussion today are going to be the Champions, or should I say the upcoming Champions League draw, Liverpool players on international duty or lack of Liverpool players on international duty, the situation with Gini Wijnaldum, if he stays, how that affects Liverpool, and then Colin Kelleher, and should we go for another goalkeeper? So guys, I'm going to start with the Champions League. Jersey, but I'm going to start with you. Name me one team you wouldn't mind getting and one team you absolutely don't want to get.
Real Madrid. I wouldn't mind Real Madrid because, as you said, against Atalanta, they were still wasteful. Atalanta didn't have a good striker. Atalanta had so many chances. They could have knocked them out, but, Real Madrid were a better team and I knew they were going to go through. But Real Madrid is, I think we're going to get Dortmund, but the team I really don't want, one is Bayern, because I can tell you with Kabak and Phillips at the back, we're going to see another Spurs 7-2. We're going to be obliterated. I'm telling you it's happening. And Man City as well. But there's a team I don't want.
Fair enough. Conroy, what about yourself, bro? One team you want to avoid and one team you wouldn't mind avoid?
I think it's obvious. I'm probably going to steal most people's answers in the chat, but I'd say Porto, even though I think Porto have improved a lot under their new coach, because bear in mind that was the same one we beat previously, but they looked like a different team against Juventus. I know Juventus aren't firing, but still that's a tough place to go. And for him to pull that off, I thought it was superb. But I just think, I've said before, for us to do anything in the Champions League, we need to start playing consistently. And I think if we can get to a certain level, even if it's not 100%, I think we can still get by Porto. Whereas I just feel like there's too many other teams that would have to be up there firing to win, especially finishing wise. So I'd go for Porto. A team I wouldn't want 100%. I know people are arguing with psychology, not for me. Man City would wipe the floor with us right now. No arguments, they would. So I would not take them. Don't get me wrong. I know you need to beat the best. So what I'm saying is this specific round. After this round, we could have a bit of consistency, the confidence will go up, and then I'm thinking especially Jota will have even more games, and the front three could get a better connection. But for me, Man City, that 4-1 game is getting clouded by Alisson mistakes. They were just, I know I've said this loads of times, Cal, but they were just light years ahead, and I feel like, especially no fans, they could just copy and paste that performance and beat us in the quarters anyway. So when we get them tomorrow, I don't want to, I'm no jinx that I put it out there. Well, we're going to win if we get them tomorrow, though, so I'll change my opinion if we get them.
And then, Finn, what about yourself?
For me, I want Real Madrid. I feel like the fact that they've been quite poor the whole tournament in the group stage, they weren't the best, and it's quite a big name to knock out, if you get what I mean, like to Liverpool to recent form in the league, and they've not been to the extent the standards anyone expected. To knock them out is a massive statement. And the team, for me, I agree with Conroy. City, they know what we're about. They know how we play. I can imagine when they played us how much analysis they did of us, and they play us 2-3 times every year. So, and with the Germany opposition, Leipzig, we performed quite well. Not the best we can, but a lot better. So you never know. But yeah, City for me, I just feel like in the same league, we know how we play, and as Conroy said, they wiped the floor of us in that 4-1. Mistakes or not, they were just different class, and they're unstoppable. I know United beat them, but they're just ridiculous. So for me, I want Madrid and I do not want City.
Cool.
Cal,
at the fear of getting kicked out. Yeah, go for it, bro.
Question, mate. See, after Chelsea last night, I kept changing my mind. Would you take Chelsea?
No.
Yeah. See, I wasn't sure.
I may get clipped up for this because this could really come back to bite me. Do you know the one team I actually wouldn't mind getting is actually Bayern Munich? But I'm going to explain. You guys are all looking like the camera, like he's lost it. Cancel Callum. He's lost it.
He loves that too much. He's not thinking straight. He's got voters already in his head.
Here we go.
All right. Here's my theory on it. When we play Bayern Munich, they're very similar to how we play, right? So they set up, and even though they played a double pivot, Goretzka gets forward and he likes to try and get in the box and get on the end of shots, etc. But defensively, they're not as strong as people think. Now, Bayern Munich play against Liverpool. Bayern Munich aren't going to employ a low block. They're going to come out and they're going to want to fight fire with fire. They're going to want to attack because they don't know how to play the low block, because every team they play against, they're the dominant team. So they go out with a purpose of, we want to win the game. When teams come out and play against us, we are at our best, and there's a higher chance of us winning that game. And by that same notion, I'm going to go against the grain again. That's why I don't want Porto, because we've seen this season the way to beat Liverpool is by playing that ultra low block. And Porto are probably the most superior team in Europe at the moment at playing the low block, as we saw against Juventus. Juventus have more quality than we do at the moment, and they're in better form. I wouldn't want Porto right now. I want a team that's going to come out and attack us, and I'd rather go punch for punch, blow for blow, than with a team who's coy and just going to try and hit us on the break. Because if we get hit on the break, as much as I love Nat, he's not a pacey centre-back. Kabak's not the paciest of centre-backs. Trent's starting to hit a little bit of form. Robbo's been up and down. I'd rather us play against a team that we know going in, they're going to play football, and it's whoever gets it on the day. Because I think with Jota, Mane, Salah, and Firmino, I'll throw Firmino in there as well, we can get at Bayern Munich's defence, so we can cause them a lot of trouble, and we can score goals against that team.
That's a fair point, Cal. The only reason I just think we're not finishing the good. In normal seasons, I would back us to do that, but just I feel like right now you can't rely on us finishing, and that would be the only worry. Is we wouldn't take the chances and other teams would. But as I say, mate, like eventually we're going to have to fight fire with fire if we do get through. Either it doesn't even matter who we get. Eventually, that's going to have to come up. I hear what you're saying about Porto, and I do agree. I just feel like it's judging between two, and I think we'd have a slightly better chance with that. But I hear what you're saying, mate, and I also hear what Finn's saying with Madrid as well. But I've always reiterated, Madrid are winners, right? It's like Chelsea over the last couple, they're winners, right? So you can't. We talk about us being mentality monsters. Madrid have got a habit of doing that. I mean, the league last year, people are sleeping on it as well. That was without, that was when Benzema, who apparently can't score goals, well, he scored nearly 30 goals in the past 3 seasons. It was 25, 27, and 30. Previously being the more assist striker to Ronaldo. So it's a Champions League at the end of the day. Everyone's got good strengths, but I just think sometimes Madrid, I always feel like when I've watched them, they're not good, you'll get at them, and then they pull a performance out. That's what they do. Yeah. So be interesting.
Safe, welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, man? How you lot doing? You're right.
Not too bad. I'm going to throw this same question at you, so I'm going to put you on the spot now. Name us one team that you wouldn't mind joining in the Champions League, and one team you want to avoid at all costs.
Avoid, I'd probably say Munich. I just feel like they're just a bit rapid for us at the moment. Like usually I wouldn't mind Munich so much, but at the moment they just seem like they're on their game a bit in comparison to us. Team I wouldn't mind. I was thinking City or Chelsea, simply because it's under the devil,
I would have. I'm the complete opposite. They're the two that I don't want to face at all. They're behind Bayern for me. Them two. I'd rather fancy Bayern.
I feel like we could play better against Chelsea. Just don't play the high line and be so naive. That's
exactly. The thing is, the game against Chelsea, look, we were playing really poor, and they didn't exactly turn up amazing against us either. They tactically played the game well, but in terms of players,
tactically done Klopp, mate. App's tactically done them. You got to put your hands up, so that worries me a little bit.
The thing is, if you look at the players weren't fantastic. Like they didn't blow us out of the park or anything. And I feel like, look, we've got a bit of confidence behind us, and it's the Champions League. Like this is our playing field, and I feel like no matter whether we're going to the Bridge or they're coming to Anfield, we're welcoming them to our tournament.
Don't want to go to Anfield. I don't want to play at Anfield.
Get us back in. Get us back in Budapest.
Just Arena, our new home. Did you actually see on the Premier League website?
They changed it. I'm good with
that's
that.
my feeling about it anyways. I just feel like they've had enough of us, and if they see us again, whether it be City or Chelsea, they're going to be like, oh, the Scousers again, sort of thing.
See what you're
And
saying.
I just feel if you look on that pecking order, I just feel that they wouldn't want to face us, and I feel the same with Chelsea as well.
Yeah,
Just
but for me, no matter who we get tomorrow, I'm always going to back us to beat anyone in the Champions League. I always will, and no matter how bad we are. But for me, I don't know why. I just really don't want to play Porto. The fact that the low block teams have absolutely just like destroyed us. Like you don't even need to do much. And as Callum said, they're the best at doing that in Europe. So we can barely break down a Fulham, a Burnley. Never mind one of the best at doing it. And they've shown it on the big stage against one of the best players to ever play the game, which I know might not be at his best, but he's still on the pitch. He's still there to cause problems. So for me, I just feel like with Pepe and there's so many players that are just solid and they're the best at doing that. So for me, and we've seen this season, we are awful at breaking them down. So for me, I'd rather face like a team that come at us and hit fire with fire, as you were saying, Callum. But Porto just scare me. I don't know why. I just really don't want them tomorrow.
Knowing us, it's going to be coming up. Liverpool versus Porto. It's coming.
Well, yeah, you're saying Dortmund, aren't you?
I said Dortmund. Knowing our luck, it's going to be Porto.
The thing is, I think reality of the situation, no matter what team we get, we're going to look at that team and be like, all right, these are their weak points. We're going to beat them.
I agree as well. We'll all be saying next week, we can have these over 2 legs.
Not talking about hindsight, guys, right? But there's only actually one team I've ever seen in the Champions League who wasn't a top team at the time, who once they've knocked a big boy out, would knock another. And it was Ajax a couple of years ago, because they knocked Madrid and then they knocked Juventus out.
Yeah.
But usually, I'm not saying it's a physical thing, but mentally, see a big result like that, they don't always follow it up, because sometimes they put so much into that game.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that'll be the case because there's a big break between it, but I'm just looking at like the statistics of that. I mean, I know that you could probably pick out a few. I know Porto, ironically, won the Champions League. They knocked a lot of big boys out with Mourinho, but usually, I don't know. I think overall, I just fancy us against Porto, guys, but we'll see, because we've not got much of a choice when the draws in, so we need to go with it.
I feel like
Indeed.
the thing I think most about wanting to face Porto is, like, defensively, we're not up there at the moment, and Porto, it's just a bit more comfortable walking onto that pitch with Porto there. Like, you just know it's not going to be like they're going to score earlier and our whole team's going to capitulate and all that sort of stuff. I just feel like we're gonna control the game. Whether we score or not's the problem, but we'll have most control over those games. But we'll see.
Speaking about capitulation, guys, don't capitulate in front of your other half. You know, you're getting happy, you're in the mood, boom. You don't want to push there, do you? Manscaped, people. Let's go to Manscaped. So, guys, all you have to do is go over to Manscaped, get 20% off with the code TFT. They're one of the sponsors of the Football Terrace as well. So make sure you go and check out their stuff. Some great products, and you too could be the winner. So make sure you check out Manscaped. All right, going to move on to the next subject, guys. Before we do that, we're going to bring in the one and only Monts from Big Six Bants. How you doing, Monts?
Not too bad, bro. How you doing?
Oh, nice, bro. Nice. Pleasure having you on, as always.
Do I sound good? Or am I sounding?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah. All good. We're all good. So international duty is coming up, our favourite time of the year. No Liverpool players in the England setup. No Trent this time. But abroad, we've got Jota, Keita, Robbo, Gini, and Salah. Say again. Yeah, right.
I want them to play 3 games. I'm wanting them to play 3 games.
Isn't Mane as well on international duty with Senegal?
I'm not too sure.
They're not doing games.
Not too sure.
The good thing is that the Brazil games have been cancelled due to COVID.
Yes, indeed. So that's what I was going to get to. So, Monts, I'll come to you first. 1, how do you feel about Trent not being called up? And 2, how happy are you to see a lot of our players not actually going on international duty?
Well, to be fair, the fact that we'll start with Trent. The Trent situation, I feel like, my opinions on Gareth Southgate, I feel like he watches 2 games before the international break and just basically pick off that.
Don't get me started about that, man.
I can't stand him.
Literally, I feel like he goes, oh crap, international break coming soon. Let me go to a few games 2 weeks before and I'll see who's playing well. Just forget about what's happened the past year.
Get me started.
We'll just forget about player pedigree. We'll forget about all that money in the bank. Doesn't mean anything, does it? That's generally what I think his mindset's like. But you know what? if he wants to think that way, that's absolutely fine. Who are we playing? We're playing Poland, and we're playing
San Marino, who've
San
never
Marino.
ever won a game ever.
Yeah, like Trent, take your rest. Take your rest, because I think you need it. To be honest, I feel like the only people who, you know, the only people who should really be worried about international duty are the ones who have pretty much their whole squad going out on international duty. And luckily for us, we actually have the luxury of having enough players to stay behind and actually work on what they're lacking right now. You know, they can actually have a break mentally. They don't have to really think about game after game after game for all the way until April the 3rd. So I feel like for the boys that are here and are training with us, I feel like this is their time to, you know, sort of really get their head together, get their stuff together, and really reflect and look at what's going on in the league and really, you know, understand what's going on. And what I'll say about the boys going out on international duty, hopefully they can actually taste a bit of banter from their teammates about what's going on with Liverpool right now, and they can come back with a little kick up the arse and sort their stuff out.
Indeed, well said. Finn, what about your thoughts on international duty and the lack of Trent, but also the other players going out and playing a couple of games?
For me, I'm not the biggest fan of England and never was, never will be. I just don't rate the football they play, don't rate the choices that are made. And I know a lot of people do like England, but I just don't like them, just especially where I'm from, my family. We just never seem to sit down and watch a game of England, no matter how far they get. Maybe if they get to the final, you might put it on for a bit. But for me, especially the past 2 years, every time Liverpool have had this international break, there's always been at least one player come back with a serious injury. Gomez finishing up with training, jumps for a header, does a injury for 6 months. Like, it's just us to happen to. And Mont said it very well. Now let other teams worry about where players are going. Like the City, they've got majority of their big players are gone because they've been that good. And I put on my story before when I heard Trent wasn't called up, and I don't mind that at all. He's not been good enough, and Gareth Southgate knows that, but I'd still put him over Walker and Trippier any day of the week. But I feel like for me, this could be a time where Trent has his break for a couple of weeks and works on himself mentally and physically, because we know he's not been to levels at all that we expect from him. And I think this is a great time for him to just relax a bit, get his week off, and then next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he's got work hard, work on his defending, work on his state of mind as a player. And the players that are away, I'm sure they'll all kill it, all great players. And all the people that are going away have been quite good this season. So I'm not too worried about. Well, I am worried about them getting injuries, but I'm happy with them to go because they deserve to go. They've been good for us, and they'll put a shift in for the country. But I'm just crossing my fingers that there's no injuries. But I feel Trent. I'm gutted for him. I feel like they could do something to him mentally, because I think if you didn't get chosen for your country, you're a bit like, oh, what have I done wrong? But I feel there's more positives than negatives with the Trent situation, that he can reflect on himself and get better for us as a club than more of a country. But the others, I'm happy for them to go, and fingers crossed no injuries happen, because that's the least we need now with the Champions League coming up.
Indeed. Conroy, maybe the international break probably viewed slightly different for yourself. Obviously, Andy Robertson, Scotland. What's your thoughts on it? I mean, you're kind of in between at the moment, because Robbo, we don't want him to burn out as a Liverpool fan, but at the same time for Scotland, you want your best players playing. So how do you feel about the international break?
You see, the thing is, guys, I know it's like in England, there's a bit like Finn saying, there's sometimes a lot of English people who don't support a national team. It's got a lot better with Scotland in the last 3 months, because obviously we just qualified, so it's a really feel-good factor. So it's not like everyone's like bemoaning international break now. We're actually looking forward to it. But specifically as well, Che Adams got put in. That's good. That's really good for Scotland. You might not know, but Lyndon Dykes, and I'm not just saying it, Lyndon Dykes plays for QPR, has been superb. And listen, I'm a realistic person, but when I tell you he's played number 9, he looks like just a big guy, but his actual link-up play is very good. He was man of the match against Serbia, and that Serbia team had Jovic, who signed for 50 million from Real Madrid, and he had a better game. He's a really, really good player. He's Australian-born, but he's a top player, Lyndon Dykes. So there's actually a bit more confidence coming. We're actually getting McTominay's playing quite well for United, and now for Scotland he plays as a centre-back. So it's okay, mate, but I will be honest with you, Robbo does look quite tired, but for some reason, though, he doesn't have many rests, though, so I don't know why it's going to change this time. Like, usually international break, if we're playing 3 games, he might play 2, but considering I think they're all World Cup qualifiers are competitive, he's going to play all the. He's a captain of the country.
And for Scotland as well, it's massive for using it. So you need your best players playing.
To jump on the good feel factor as well, mate. Like beating Serbia was not a small feat. I mean, obviously, with joke aside, like Scotland not making it, but actually beating Serbia, who are a good team, who knocked out Norway, by the way. That's why Haaland's not going to the Euros. So that was a huge achievement. So I think for us, it's maybe a case of we're not looking down at this break because we're like, do you know what? They've done well. I know we done the conga when we got through and stuff, and that big David Marshall. That was the most Scotland thing ever. He saves the penalty and he looks at the referee. Right, I'm like, mate, just celebrate because there's no way a ref's bringing that back when this is like it's going to change a country. But no, it was. I hear what you're saying, though, guys, but I just think Robbo will keep. For me, I think he will keep playing, and it's important for us. So I have to look at it differently. As like I said in the previous stream, Van Dijk and Gini. Like they love their country. If Van Dijk comes back, he's not going to think twice about playing the Euros because he might never play in the Euros again. They've missed the last couple of years. He might not come back the same player. So that's news to Liverpool fans. But you can't begrudge someone for doing that. But on the point of England, this is what I wanted to say. Right? I actually don't understand what Gareth Southgate done. However, the biggest problem with English managers from another point of view is they're all yes men in the past. They've all picked favourites, right? I would argue that Trent deserves to be in the squad because his recent form. I disagree with one said. I'd say his recent form gets him in. I'd say before that doesn't deserve to be in the squad. The problem I've got is England managers. Well, it doesn't bother me, but you seem to just make stuff complicated when it doesn't have to be complicated. See, like Harvey Barnes this year, he could have scored 20 goals, but he wouldn't have went in that squad because England manager for some reason picked favourites and he's don't pick players in form. He's have never done it. He took Jack Wilshere, took Rooney when he was past it. I don't know why you make it more complicated than it has to be. Pick your players who are in form and play them. Like it's not rocket science. That's how I feel about it. But my question is, I think these are sitting down in Trippier. Atletico top of the league, and he's got the same amount of assists as Trent and the rest of the right backs. So we need to look away from the Premier League sometimes. I know he had the ban, but he's still got the same stats. So I think Trippier does deserve to be there from a neutral's point of view, anyway.
Fair enough, Jersey boy. Connor made some good points there. What's your thoughts on the?
Obviously, I'm a huge England fan. I'm not gonna be. Obviously, I'm not huge. Obviously, I don't like the Nations League because that competition is useless. But I will watch and support and be supportive when it's the World Cup qualifiers because it's the biggest competition in the world for any sport. So, I really don't care because England have got the easiest group in the world. They've got a team who've literally got firemen, gardeners, people who work at shops playing in their team. They're not professional. They've never won a game in their life. They lost 9-0 to Russia. I'm expecting them to win 15-20-0. So with Trent, I think it was good for him, but I would have preferred Trent playing over Trippier but I don't know, I think the others deserve to go on international duty, but talking about Conway said, like, for one thing, why is Eric Dyer going to England? The guy is useless in defence. He's absolutely useless, the guy.
What do some of the other centre backs, like your Burnleys and your Brighton centre backs? I know you might look down at that unfairly, but see, like Dunk, for example, and Tarkowski. Ben Mee is a leader. Ben Mee's a leader. Like, no, that's not fair. You can't be.
Don't forget about that
bandwagon. There's too many.
I would rather play Phillips over Eric Dyer. The guy is awful.
But then if you're at England centre-back like Tarkowski and stuff, or Ben Mee went from not being a captain to being the leader of that team. And it's like, I know it's Burnley football, but there's some good centre-backs out there.
He saves Burnley in so many games with his blocks, his tackling. Them two are probably the best partnership up there in the league for me. Them two centre-halves are so good. They'll go into any tackle. And even the keeper as well, that triangle is so good.
And if you're playing a free, you don't all have to be ball players, but I'd say Dunk can actually play as well. He plays in a Graham Potter team. So, again, this is overcomplicate football all the time.
He's not going to play three. He's the first national manager I've seen in one game play 5 at the back, 3 right backs and 3 DMs against Denmark and lose 1-0.
Kyle Walker's rapid though. You can't not play Kyle Walker in a free. He's not a great defender, but he's speed. Cal knows how much Kyle Walker's speed. It's ridiculous.
He played 3 at the back in the World Cup. I don't mind that, but England need to really
He's
wake
going to
up.
play a 5 against San Marino, isn't he? He's going to play a 5.
He's going to. Russia won 9-0. Scotland, you guys won 6-0 against them.
2-1, mate. 2-1 away.
I swear to God, if England win 1-0, it'll be the biggest embarrassment. You've nearly got beaten and won 1-0 against a bunch of non-professional footballers.
Beat them easily.
I'm expecting 9-0 and above. If it's not 9-0, then that's an embarrassment of the whole country.
Yeah, you're not getting 9-0, Jersey boys. They'll win, but you're not getting 9-0.
No, not happening. Not happening. He's going to play Trippier, Walker, all of the right backs at once.
Save one player that is going on. One player that is going on international duty is Jota. Now, obviously, he just come back for us after a long-term injury. This is where international breaks this is where they scare me the most, because a player of his quality, and we've seen just how important he is for us recently. Do you think this international break is good for him because he gets a few more games under his belt, or do you just think it's such a big risk him going at the moment?
I mean, straight away, I think it's a big risk. The difference between us as a club and his country is that they've only got him for like a few games. I think 2 games, right? Whereas we're looking at his development throughout the rest of the season and where he's going to be effective, not only now in March, but in April, May, and all the games leading up to that and everything. So they're just going to get the most that they can out of him in those 2 games. And the problem with that is they haven't been working alongside him throughout his recovery period. They haven't seen how he's developed. Like, they can't say at time A he was like this, and at time B he's become like this, so we can see some sort of development, recovery. And everything. So they're just going to take what they see on the training field, and they're going to be like, all right, sick players, stick him in the squad, 90 minutes, he'll probably bang a goal or 2. And the problem with that is they can't assess him properly, and they're just going to get the most out of him that they can in those 2 games. And that's pretty much where the problem comes. And I just think that you see a player like him playing at Wolves, then he's come to Liverpool, doing a fantastic job at Liverpool as well. And they're just going to be like, well, yeah, he makes our first team. And if they don't play him, the fans are just going to be like, why are you not playing Jota? But the reality of the situation is that I just feel that these games right now, I don't know if they've got that much importance in that sense. Like, I don't follow international football that much generally anyways. But it's just, I just feel like it's just a massive risk. And typically with us, a player that's become such a crucial part of our team, or someone, essentially, I feel Jota has become like the Messiah in a way, in the sense that he's expected to come back from his vanishing or whatever, and to come and fix the goal scoring problem at Liverpool. But if he does go on international break and they do overuse him and they don't take into consideration he's just come back from injury, it could just be a massive risk for us.
Indeed. Speaking about taking risks, guys, do not take a risk when you're going on a date, or a bit more. Get yourself a Manscaped, 20% off, just using the code TFT, one of the sponsors of the show as well. So go and check out Manscaped. Right, bringing in another super guest, Rams. Welcome to the show, brother.
We got Rams.
Go shout out Rams. Rams actually made me laugh before he even came onto the show physically. That Nat Phillips shout, centre back from England. Now Dean should be in with a shout if we're going on
literally, 4. Why is if we're going to pick Eric Dyer, why aren't you giving Nat Phillips a look in?
Because about 5 defenders ahead, there are 10 defenders ahead of him who've done it consistently.
Yeah, but he plays.
Red tinted goggles on. Take them off.
I know it's red tinted goggles, but at least Eric Dyer though. No. Eric Dyer.
I agree, mate. Tarkowski and Ben Mee had the second most clean sheets last year, and they can't even get a look in.
Dyer's going to start every game. I'm calling it now. He's going to start Dyer.
He probably will. Well, Dyer's loved by every manager he's been with, to be fair. So
I bet Ben White will get in a squad before any of the proven Premier League centre backs do, because that's English media for you, 100%. They love a youngster, and it's the same. It's just do the same mistake consistently.
Guys, can I just ask a question about Reece James? What do you guys think about Reece James being in the squad? Because personally, even though Chelsea have been on a good form of recent, like defensively under Lampard, they were almost pretty much borderline atrocious. And amongst their run, their really good run since Sunchak come in, Aspie was playing right back. So, like, what's the whole Reece James thing? What do you guys think about that? It just seems a bit weird to me. Sorry, he's good. I actually do rate Reece James. I think
so do I.
I think he's.
It just goes to show.
And
Yeah, there's no strategy behind how Gareth Southgate puts the team, in my opinion. He's got favourites, and then there's people who are probably above him saying,
who's the highest rated, or look who's got the most informs on FIFA. I'm confused.
No idea.
Yeah, last time James started, he got sent off.
It's the stupid back three. It's the stupid back three he's playing.
Jesse Lingard's in the squad.
Back five he's going to play. Back five.
And don't get me wrong, Jesse Lingard's on fire right now. Big him up, but
that's the right move. That's the right move. He's in form.
Yeah, exactly. He's shown it. And
Madison and Grealish are injured.
But how do you define form, though, Mons? Do you know what I mean? You England managers have not picked form for the last 20 years, and you've not really done much. So maybe you should pick form.
I think Gareth Southgate is just guilty of. I think he's guilty of the ban.
He's a yes man. He's a yes man. It's obvious.
He's very guilty of that. Like, I don't think Nat Phillips should be in the England squad, but you could easily just make the same argument with Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard's had 5 good games. Fair enough. 5 very good games. But 5 games.
I hear what you're saying, Mons. I just think I prefer that to when you just pick favourites all the time, who there's no competition and they just expect to get picked. I mean, you took Jack Wilshere when he didn't play. Honestly.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Just let's keep the respect levels high here, guys. It's now Dini, not or as Finn said, Virgil van Phillips. So yes, let's keep the respect levels and let's respect these generational talents. All right, so Gini Wijnaldum, there's talks coming out again that his main focus now is to actually extend his contract at Liverpool. Now, there's been contract talks for the best part of a year now, and there still hasn't been a confirmation or coming to the table where they both agreed. Rams, I'm going to come to you. 1, do you think Gini will extend? And 2, if he does Liverpool still need to buy another centre midfielder?
Well, it doesn't look like Barcelona are going to be going for him. Obviously, with Laporta being the president now, he wants to go back to how he did it in 2006 with La Masia. And if that's not the case, who else in the world is gonna be paying the money for Gini Wijnaldum? I think any club, barring everything that's happening with COVID, a lot of clubs across the world, especially abroad, are struggling financially, and I don't think they want to pay the wages that Gini Wijnaldum wants. And if he does stay, personally, I still think we need a midfielder, but not. When I talk about midfielder, I talk about a utility midfielder, like a James Milner kind of player. So a person that can play right back, centre mid, left back, possibly even the wings if you really need him. Someone like a Florenzi or Sergio Roberto, or someone like that. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the Wijnaldum thing. If he does leave, get Saul. Get Saul. You're on mute.
You're on mute, Cal.
I'm just testing you guys to see if you guys were concentrating, obviously. So, Faith, before we let you go, Gini Wijnaldum. So, 1, do you think he'll extend? 2, do you think we should keep him? And 3, should we get a centre midfielder regardless of him staying or leaving?
Number 1, I think he should extend. Number 2, he's put me on the biggest roller coaster of emotion. Like me loving him, then hating him, and loving him and hating him, just been a bit of a mad one, because it started with like obviously the Barcelona game and everything. Like, it just made me fall in love with the guy. And then just more recently, he's just not been putting his performances in. But then he comes in another game and he just starts playing really well again. And you're like I just don't know where to come on a conclusion with this guy, but I just know he's got the quality in him. And I feel like the whole fact that he kind of wanted to go Barcelona was making me a bit, I don't know, like it was just making me a bit biased towards the fact that I'm just trying to dislike him. But in reality, he's such a workhorse and there's just so much to him and everything like that. So I just feel like if the opportunity comes, we should sign him on. And then lastly, I think, we should definitely look at getting someone else in centre mid, because we've got a lot of centre mids at the moment. I think we need to get rid of some of them, to be honest. Like as much as I go on literally every week about how much I love Shaqiri, the reality of the situation is he ain't Liverpool material. And we want to win not just the Premier League, we want to win European, the Champions League and all that sort of stuff. If you want to be the biggest teams in Europe, you got to play like the bad boys. And the thing is, they don't hang on to people because they feel good for that or they feel bad for them or whatever it is. Like, they do what they need to do to win games, and that's what we need to start doing. And I feel like once we start getting rid of some of the dead stock, and I hate calling them that, but it's the reality of the situation. But once we get rid of some of those players, I feel like we just need someone else in there to keep the competition going and actually bring a new dynamic to our play. I feel like Thiago was meant to do that, but he's struggling. Kate is still a bit up and down sort of thing. I don't know. He's there, he's not there sort of thing. Like, the quality is great. It's just about the fact that, is he going to gel himself into that team? And if we bring someone else in, then it just gives us, I don't know, a bit more diversity in the middle. We don't have to rely so much on just Fabinho to be the super defensive midfielder sort of person. Someone else who can distribute balls and pretty much that sort of situation. So, yeah, I just feel like competition is always great. But anyway, with that, guys.
Yes, indeed. Take care, brother.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, take care, bro.
All right, so seems like with the Gini stuff, it seems like most people want him to stay. Now, we've been linked with another midfielder, Sander Berg, who's at Sheffield United at the moment. So, I mean, Jersey boy, 1, do you rate him? 2, is that someone you'd bring in? I mean, we have Gruitch on the books.
No. There you go. No.
Just straight nose, yeah?
Just straight nose. I could go all day. No.
We were linked with him before he actually went to Sheffield United, because I think did we play them in the Champions League last season?
Where did he come from, Sander Berg?
Genk.
Where was he brought from?
Genk.
Ah,
Wrong. It was a Genk. Yeah, it was. Was it Genk?
It's either Gent or Genk. I can't remember one of those two. It's just one of those two. I don't know.
I thought it was quite impressive for a tall guy. He's, as the cliche would say, he's got a good touch for a big guy, but he is quite good. But I don't think, for me, Cal, I don't understand this, right? See, if Gini's not going to go, you don't have to buy a midfielder for that. You should be using that money to get a 10 or attacking midfielder. Like, I don't know why we're buying a Saul, but he's not attacking midfielder, is he? It's like,
no, I wouldn't. No, but he's too old. He's old, isn't he?
Liverpool are probably going to think, right, if Gini doesn't go, we'll give him a 10 grand increase instead of a 30 grand increase. He'll take that. He can play centre mid and he can cover if he needs to DM or whatever. And then they'll try and use that to get a realistic 10, not a Grealish
9. Why don't we just convert Firmino to an 8 and then go get a 9?
Yeah. But you can't just convert it. You have to be defensively intelligent to play midfield. It's not like everyone says, let's put Trent in midfield. It's not like it's not easy. You have to understand.
It's not FIFA. It's not crazy on FIFA, mate.
I know. Do you know what it is? Firmino does so much defending off the ball. I don't think it's going to be that much different. I
from a centre half for Phillips, super shifting.
It's maybe not a bad shout, Mons. I think you could do that. I just think you can't just say he goes straight in there. You need I still think we need an attacking midfielder. But
do we have to buy someone though? Because Curtis, I just don't want to ruin Curtis's
as well.
His development as a player.
FSG, Cal. We've got these new
I'm just throwing it out.
And there's nothing wrong with Marco Gruitch, by the way. I'm sorry. Why is there so much Marco Gruitch slander? Henderson and Fabinho are injured at the same time.
As a person, he's a bit a bad word.
Yeah, he's a prick. Yeah, he's a prick. But we need a prick. We don't have any pricks in our team. We don't.
Yeah, we don't.
Dude, what about Robbo? Well, he's a nice.
He's a nice. He's like a.
Yeah, Robbo's my guy.
Robert's. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like,
Robbo's my guy.
But I just feel like Gruitch, like, you know, as for CDMs, if we do look at that holding midfielder role for Liverpool, you know, this season Fabinho got a knock. Henderson obviously has had his fair share of injuries. Fabinho isn't the fittest CDM. As good as he is, he'll complete about 26 to 29 games out of the 38. And Henderson, we all know about his fitness issues. We have to have someone else there. If Gruitch isn't willing to sit on the bench and be there for that third choice, then fine, get rid of him. But if he's willing to be there, I'm happy to play him. He's got a shot on him. He's all right technically, and he can play ball. He's been playing really well at Hoffenheim. He's playing really well at Porto right now. I don't see what the problem is right now.
That's a good point. I
just feel like for me in the pecking order, I don't rate Chamberlain as much as a lot of people do, but I'd still put him ahead of him. I'd put Shaqiri ahead of him. I'd put Naby Keita ahead of him. I'd put Curtis Jones ahead of him. He'd be last in that midfield.
But he's a
DM though.
He's a DM.
I just wouldn't play with the so-called DM. Just play the flat three and just let Henderson do that, or just let Gini do that.
I want Goretzka.
Come on, do you love these rotation players? Don't you have Florenzi, Sergio Roberto? You love them, don't you?
So that
Wait, utility players can play multiple positions. We
Alright,
need
so-
Milner that. Milner
I
can last
need-
for 15 years for sound.
I need Goretzka. I'm sorry. I just need Goretzka.
Nah, Goretzka's staying at
I
Bayern.
want.
You
I
messing
know.
with Mons.
if there
You
was any-
think you're playing career here, mate, don't you? You'll be asking for that playing Alan next.
Yeah, literally facts.
If
facts.
the only player I'd want for Bayern Munich is Kimmich, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't
Yeah,
see that.
Kimmich is.
We ain't getting
Yeah,
Kimmich.
Yeah,
no
but
way.
let's.
No way.
I think Kimmich is class, but we forget
We've got
people just
Fabinho.
dismiss how good Philip Lam was as well. And I
Yeah.
think Kimmich, he's great and stuff, but I don't know. I think there's other ballers ahead of him. I think he's
Wait.
when he
Ahead
played
of him?
against Liverpool.
Who can put ahead of him?
definitely.
Can I just say?
I think he's good, but I just think we loved the hype with Kimmich. I think he is a
Who
top
would you
player.
put ahead of
I
Conroy,
can't
you
wait.
give me
I don't know. I don't
in
know.
the
two,
world.
players you put ahead of him.
Yeah.
2-3 players that are better than Kimmich.
As a DM or what? Do
Or
you
right
think
back.
Kimmich is a
Do
great
That's
every-
what I'm saying, as a DM or
Right
right
now.
back.
Either way.
Right now.
A
Who to either of them?
DM, is Kante still ahead of him as a DM, right?
Yeah.
Fabinho's
Fair
ahead of him as a
enough.
DM,
Yeah.
right? I'd say Rodri's ahead of him as a DM right now.
No.
No.
I don't know about that one.
But
Maybe 2 weeks
But there's
in like
about
November.
there's about five. There's about 5 DMs. Give me a chip, but there's about
I
5
think
DMs.
he's number
I
5.
think Kimmich. They go on about Kimmich so much, like, and it's like he's a
Kimmich
good
is my
passer, but
guy.
as a DM, he's good. But there's better DMs.
Yeah, I agree with Kante
I
and
think
Fabinho, but
Fabinho's
I
better
think they're
than him.
all on the
I
same
said
level. I
Fabinho.
think maybe Kante on his day
No,
is better than him.
Kimmich can't defend like Kante. A DM
Yeah, I
is
know,
the
but the thing is,
top can defend.
But Kante
I
can't really
agree
kick
with you
ball
on
like
that,
that.
but
That's the thing.
I don't.
But
I
what's
don't
the
agree with
job?
all.
What's the job, Monts? Is a DM to kick ball or defend and cover? That's the whole
It's true.
point.
It's reading the
Well,
game.
Fabinho's the
It's
best
do
because he can
that,
do both.
though. I think
What?
Kimmich can do.
I still-
Kimmich can
Aye,
do that.
Kimmich-
No. In
and
a
the
system
clock.
where he doesn't have to do much
Exaggerate
defending.
Kimmich so much. He's a
In
good
the
baller. He's
system.
not the
He's
best
my
DM.
guy. Kimmich is my guy. I'm
yeah.
not going to front. Conrad, it's not
he's
often we disagree, but
What did he do
You
at
gave me
Anfield,
Kimmich.
Cal? What did he do at Anfield? He screamed at Manny and then they lost 3-1.
What
And
did
I never saw
what
it
did
in the
half
game.
what did half the Bayern team do at Anfield? No one did
Yeah,
anything.
no one does.
But what does
anything
that say then? I
like
thought
that.
top players
Yeah.
turn up.
Yeah,
It's not-
yeah.
it's not-
Bayern, yeah.
Like,
Bayern 2
There's no
years
shame in
ago.
losing to Liverpool.
Different Bayern now, isn't it? They're
At the
all
time-
different.
I
Yeah,
like
Chelsea didn't
Kimmich.
do it.
I just think we're buzzing. I think there's 5 better. No, he's probably in the
Five.
top 5 right backs. He's top 5 right backs, but I think there's at least 4 better DMs. Because a DM is not to.
I agree
play
with the
balls.
Kante and Fabinho one, but I couldn't name another 2. Rodri, knowing.
Yeah.
Rodri's
But
all right, but
Kimmich-
nowhere near Kimmich.
Can we say
He's
that
not
I couldn't name
Kimmich
another
doesn't
two.
hold
That's
the
just the
DM?
3 that came to the top of my head. But I
Yeah.
feel like I could give you 5 if I thought about it.
I
Go on,
think
go
Kimmich
on.
doesn't
Think
hold
what's
the
the
DM.
camp? I want to know these guys.
I'm
He
trying to
usually has a
think.
partner.
Oh yeah, because if you put Rodri up there,
No,
And
I'm
I-
just
I-
saying.
I-
Harry-
If Roger's there, you got to put it.
Well, I was going to say Fernandinho, but Fernandinho's obviously past that now.
I think Ndidi's
Ndidi's
definitely battling
Ndidi.
for him, but I still put Kimmich over Ndidi.
But bear in mind, I'm talking about a DM for me is not
Casemiro, maybe.
Austin
Are you-
Davis, I'd say, yeah.
Are you talking
But
about a
as
sitting DM?
I'm not talking about a baller, right? I'm not talking spray passes. A DM for me,
Defending,
Kante's the best DM in the world because his job, it does the work of 2 people and gets the ball
Yeah.
back for the team. We get in this luxury. See when it comes to a game that you need to win, right? See when you've that 30-yard pass that he's done, right? I like Kimmich. I just think as a right back, yes, but I think there's better DMs. I just think.
But he-
fair enough. I'll watch him
he
a bit more.
covers both positions.
Conrad, he doesn't.
So does Sergio Roberto.
I think you're
We're
right.
going to call him one of the best players in the world.
I think you're right in what you're
I'm
saying.
only joking. I'm only joking with that comment.
I'm on the Conrad train with that one though. I
No,
actually think
I
with
just-
Kimmich. Oh, go on.
He's good, mate. He is a great player, but I don't know what it is. It's like, do you know what? It's probably because he screamed at Anfield, and I thought he thinks he's very big, and then he just got put down a peg. And I like when that happens. I like when people think that and they get put down a peg. But
Yeah.
as a right back, he's in the top 5. He's right up there. As a DM, I'd say he's probably still in the top 5. I just think there's 4 actual DMs. But then you might say Conroy, that skill that he has is more important than being a DM. But Cal agrees with me. I think Kante is the best DM in the world, because that's what he does. He does the really
Still.
No. I think
Impossible.
I think he's second best to Fabinho.
Yeah.
I genuinely
nice.
do
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I would.
Can't
but
say
for
that
me, it's one of those 2.
Kante's
As a
been good
lone
for 6.
DM.
As a lone DM, because I think you got to remember with DMs, sometimes DMs look good because they have a center, they have another CDM next to them. partnering them, and it makes them have to, like with Kimmich,
Who plays
he's usually got Goretzka to.
Bayern Munich. Oh, there you go. Who'd have thought of that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Usually
Oh,
before, remember, he had Thiago and Goretzka. So Goretzka's doing industrial work, and Kimmich and Thiago are just moving the ball left and right and spraying occasionally and breaking forward. So I think if Kimmich was to play DM, hold that on his own, I think he would struggle. Just like Thiago, look how good Thiago is. I'm not going to say was.
Is Thiago better than Kimmich because he played DM
as an overall footballer? Yeah,
as an overall footballer, yeah.
Not as a DM, no.
Not as a DM, because Thiago can't cut passing lanes to save his life.
But is Kimmich playing as a DM then, or in the double pivot? Is it similar to Thiago? When Thiago tried to do it at Liverpool, you looked lost at times.
Kimmich couldn't play DM on his own in the Premier League.
I think we're going too much step with this.
And he's done it.
What a DM to me, that's not a DM.
No, Kimmich, everyone knows. When it comes to Kimmich, like he's one of my favorite players in world football. Like I'm a Kimmich type of player. Like that's my type of player. Like I like your Ronaldinho's of the past, etc. But when it comes to football now, like throw a Kimmich in my team, I'm good. Like because I know he's a battering ram, but he's got class and skills to go with it.
Top player, definitely.
Yeah.
But that I'm just saying, if that was my player from Bayern that I was picking right now, it'd be him because he covers DM and he covers right back, which have been two problem areas for us this season.
Look how many people. I guarantee you, we was probably saying the same thing about Thiago before he come, and look at the crazy.
No, but I still think Thiago is one of the best in world football. It's just this season's it's a bit of a write-off.
I really like to say Thomas Partey there just for the banter, but I'm not going to.
No, wait, there's someone.
They'll go make
there's someone in the football terrace. If you mention Partey better than Kimmich, there's someone in the football terrace that will get really good. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to name names, but there is a certain person that will get gassed.
That's ridiculous. All right, so if I was to ask you guys, I'm going to go around all of you. So number 10, do we try Firmino there or do we buy a player? We won't ask for names. We'll do that in a future show. So Conrad, I'll start with you. Firmino or new player for number 10?
New player for number 10, but I'd still try him there, if you know what I mean. But let's be honest, Cal, we're not going to get money for a striker and a number 10, so I'd go for a striker over. So if that was my option, play him at number 10, buy a number 9. Number 9's the most important thing. Jota's not a number 9. I don't want anyone saying that. He's not a number 9. Let's go. So I put him at number 10. That would be my answer.
Fair enough. Rams?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Like, as I said it before, as a number 9, he looks meh. As a number 10, he looks pretty good. So I'm just, why don't we try him off? Because he used to play there quite a bit for Brazil and Hoffenheim before he joined us. So let's try it out. Why not?
Months?
I thought he was a 10. Just playing in the 9. Did I miss something?
I kind of agree, but we need 3 players ahead of him.
Like I'm pretty sure Ings, Origi, and Sturridge were injured. That's why he even got put there.
Yeah.
In 15, 16, am I just stupid? I don't know. Listen, don't shoot the messenger. I think he's a 10, playing in the 9, and now he can go back to his actual position just after 3 years.
Yeah. And then Finn, what about yourself?
Yeah, because I feel like I agree with Conroy. I definitely would try him do like both. Like I'd definitely try him in at number 10 because I feel like when we did it with Jota and Mane and Salah, before Jota got injured and you had all 4 of them, and him and Jota were taking it turns to play in that number 10. I think it worked quite well. We had a lot of threat on the pitch, but I agree with Conroy. Liverpool will never go out and buy a big number 10. I just can't see us unless in the next couple of years, but I just don't see us buying one. So I feel like you have to see really option for number 10. And as Conroy was on about, the finishing so poor. A main striker is massive. I feel like if you can get a striker that scores goals when they have chances, they score goals, we'll be fine. Because like it's weird, we're just playing whoever wants to take it. Like, oh, Salah, do you want to go up front for next game? Oh, do you want to go Mane? Do you want to go up front for Arsenal? You know what I mean? Like they're just just taking it in turns until someone scores like 2 goals in one game, and then the club will go, oh yeah, you play there for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? I just feel like me, the main thing I want is a proper out and out striker. No moving around, no rotating, no like mix and matching. Just have a striker who plays down the middle and will score from a tap-in can finish his chances. But for me, I'd like to see Bobby as that number 10 because I feel like that's where his best chance of getting in this team and staying in this team is that number 10 because he will not stay in this team at a number 9 and no more. With what we need to try and compete for, his finishing this season's been awful. It has for the past 2 years, but his ability is so good. So for me, he's a perfect player for number 10, and I'd definitely do that.
Yeah, the striker you're describing sounds a lot like Erling Haaland. I mean,
I know what Ram's going to say.
We're not gonna get him. We know how our owners are like. We're not gonna.
I'll be honest.
Rams,
when it comes to Mbappe and Haaland, I flip and flop every day. But I think I'm more leaning towards Haaland than I am Mbappe at the moment.
I'd take that.
Trust me, in a week it might change.
I said it weeks ago, Callum.
We're more likely to buy Saar, to go back and buy Saar. We are more likely to.
It looks like it's going to be Daka.
Oh my god!
Is there any 10s out there you could actually get for a reasonable price, guys? Like, because I've been thinking about this. I think so. I
think Coutinho's decent.
If we can get my boy back.
You don't rate Isco, do you? You think he's too slow now. You don't rate Isco.
No, I rate Isco. It's Matt and Drift that don't rate Isco.
He's done. He's done. Yeah,
I've always liked this.
Matt and Drift, he's done. Isco's done.
Are you with them as well?
Yeah, he's done. Him, Asensio, they're done. Like
Asensio's not done.
Asensio is nowhere near. Asensio is nowhere near the player he was, and he's not done because of age. He's done because of injuries. Like if you watch Asensio closely, like I watched a few Madrid games, and these man, I don't know what it is about Madrid. They just don't look.
Klopp can deal with that.
What about
Pedri?
What about Barcelona?
Nah.
I'd say for me, Royce and Dybala, I think them two are great 10s.
He's young. He's still
Royce is aged though, isn't it?
I want someone ready right now, Ram.
Yeah, I reckon
He's a baller.
That's not the way we work, though, Cal. You know.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's got to change this summer. Even if you're 20, but you're Haaland, that's
Todd
fine.
Canwell, come on down, mate.
Oh no!
Like, bro, like, Cal,
you just took the name out of my mouth.
He is a bad boy.
Most chances created above Fernandes, De Bruyne.
Yeah, last year for a team that finished second bottom.
Bro,
I know the owners, and it's not
knowing the owners, my brother. Do you see these people will go, oh yeah, look, we don't buy the ready-made player, we buy someone who can develop. And then they go, all right, let's buy the ready-made player. Then they're the type to go, well, look at Thiago, we bought the ready-made player. Now look.
Yeah.
Now look.
Don't worry.
Never got a point to be fair. Never got a point.
Yeah, we can ask LeBron if he could do something. Do one of these.
Oh, please.
Cal, what I was going to say is, see the one that got me, you mentioned before in Kopish, see Odegaard and see Papu Gomez, who went to Sevilla because Atlanta on a bad state for 5 million. I know he's 33, but even someone like that, absolute baller Gomez against us.
Papu Gomez is dangerous.
Yeah.
What about
this little conversation? Who, sorry, Luis Alberto? Oh, no, Rams.
Why?
Never go back.
No.
You're the ones that talking about Coutinho.
Coutinho is different to Luis Alberto, bro.
Coutinho is different. Let's go get Suso back. Why not? Let's get Suso.
I'd take Suso over Luis Alberto.
I'll phone Aspas. We'll get the band back together.
Let's get them all back in it.
Luis Alberto.
Aspas was a baller in La Liga, to be fair. He's actually a legend. La Liga legend.
This conversation is actually fed in perfect to the game I was going to play. So we're going to play FSG now. So I'm going to give you guys a budget of 200. Let's say 200 raise. You play yourselves in a bit of money. You've got 3 players you can buy. Who are those 3 players and why? So Finn, I'm going to start with you, bro.
Okay, fine. Everyone's going to nick my ideas, so it's fine. I'll go first.
3 players.
Okay, so do I have to put a price tag on them to add it up to 200 mil?
Well, I'll give a rough price when you say that. You can't just say Haaland.
Yeah. Well, to the 50 mil.
5 players for 200 mil.
So for me,
3 players.
I'm gonna say Renato Sanchez because I feel like he's a great player and I feel like he can fit Wijnaldum's job and role if he goes. And by the way, when I'm saying this, I'm gonna say he will go. So that's why I think we need that Renato Sanchez, because he's the best player around for me that can do Wijnaldum's job as much as best as he can. And then I out and out striker, but I don't know who to go with. I think 50 million for Sanchez, I'd say ish. But for an out and out striker, someone who scores goals, I think Haaland for 150 mil. And I'm sorry, I think I've broke the rules by only signing 2 players, but I have to, because I don't know what else to buy. And for me, yeah, I think the reason I'm picking Haaland over Mbappe is, I think Conroy mentioned it the other day, Mbappe is not an out-and-out striker. He will not score. He's better on the left than down the middle. That Haaland, anything that is around the box, he will try his hardest to get on the end of it, to try and put it away. And both feet, he's immense. In the air, he's ridiculous. His speed, his legs just move like ridiculously quick. So
Finn, he's got a buyout clause, by the way, so it's not 150. You got a buyout clause. He's like 70 million. So
no, that's not till the summer after.
Okay. Is that the summer?
But I just feel like for me, for Liverpool's sake, we need a striker. We need someone who scores goals, who takes chances, and Haaland's that to a T. You do not get any better than him nowadays. So for me, Renato Sanchez 50, Haaland for 150. I'm sorry for breaking the rules, Callum, but I don't
think Renato Sanchez would cost you a 50 mil though, Finn. So I reckon.
How much have I got left then?
You cost about 20 because of.
I reckon you could get it for 20. So you got 30 mil to play with.
You got 30
on the spot here. 40 mil. You know what? Buendia, 35 mil. I'd have Buendia as well. Strengthen the midfield up a bit. Then you've got a lot for rotation as well. And that Buendia, his chances created is just out of this world. For someone in the Championship, yeah, he is. And to outclass that Kevin De Bruyne, who is, I think, is one of the best players I've ever seen, it just shows how good he is. And I know you can sit there saying that he's done it in the Championship, but we've seen signs of it in the league. He teared City apart.
In the league as well. We've done it in the league as well.
I mean, he did it against City when they beat them 3-2, which was a massive game in our title last year. I think he's a great player, and he's a player that you can get for a reasonable price. Like, I think 35 mil, 30, 40, pushing to 40 is a great price for him, and he's shown it. So yeah, they're the 3 I'll go for.
Fair enough, Conroy.
Can I just add to that, by the way? That shows how good a manager Daniel Farke is, because Cantwell and Buendia both stayed. And he's he's a top manager.
And Max Aarons. Max Aarons.
He's a very good. He's created a group there. Yeah, they play for him. They 100%. He's not lost any change with him, even considering the way they went down. But see what I would do. For me, between it. I would say, if you're going to get Sanchez, would you not pay 20 million extra if you got that money and get Bissouma? Because I'd say Bissouma
in between. I just feel like for me that Renato Sanchez, it just something about him that I just remind. It's just I feel like he's just like a baller. Like he's like a better Naby and a less injury prone Naby. You know what I mean? I just feel like
just the Swansea period worries me because he was poor with Swansea. I know it shouldn't go off this, but I feel like I'd enjoy watching him more than Bissouma. But that Bissouma has been great for Brighton, and I would have either them. But I feel like for me, the better value for money is Renato Sanchez. If we're speaking about 20, 25 mil, I'd rather spend that on Renato Sanchez. And I think Bissouma, if you're paying 40 million, the ability is only, I'd say, about this much, not much more. So I feel like the better for value and the better class you're going to get would be Renato Sanchez. But I'd take Bissouma as well. I definitely would take Bissouma, but money-wise and on the budget we're on, I've got to go for Renato Sanchez. Fair enough, mate. For me, guys, I'm going to assume Gini's going to stay, and we're not going to pay for centre mid if we don't have to.
Yeah, I hope he stays. I have to say that.
No, I think so. I would go for striker, which is the most important thing, but I'm realistic. Cal knows I'm a realist. We're not going to get Haaland or Mbappe. He's not even a striker, really, Mbappe. For me, a realistic signing for us with that money, even though he had a massive injury, but I've been saying this for about a year, he would suit us perfectly, and he is realistic. And I'm not going to say Harry Kane because that won't work the budget. I'd say Jimenez. Jimenez is doable. It really is. It really is doable. And that guy would.
After my stream, talking about half 12 at night, and Conroy just giving me facts about Jimenez.
He's just brilliant. Like, and he's about 30, 29, 30. So what I mean is, it's like you wouldn't have to break the bank to get him. So you could even get him. I think Wolves are not going to give you him for 40 after Jota, but it's doable. I'd say centre back. I'm taught between Cal knows. We don't think Varane will happen, but say it was a Varane if possible. But I'm going to just assume that's not going to happen. For us, I would say either a Koulibaly or a Kelleher. How do you pronounce his name again? Collect the car, sell the car, collect the car. Right, I would say one of them for about, say, what 20-30 million you're going to get. I was toying between getting both of them, but for this argument, we'll just say one, and I'd say the other one would be for a right back, because as I said, I don't think a number 10. I can't see as number 10 we want is going to be like a Grealish or even a Grealish type of player, Maddison, and any 10s above that, apart from a Coutinho, you're not going to get it for that money. So I'd say either between actually going for a Coutinho again, but I can't see that happening, or going for a right back cover for Trent. And there's quite a few out there. I know I'm not going to nick Ram's idea, but I am. You could get a Sergio Roberto because he can play right back and centre mid. But this is Ram's shout though. But it's a bit like what you said about Kimmich. He's another midfielder who could do that and play. So that's what I would say. That's my three guys.
Can I make a deadline day transfer? I just go on. When Diaz getting swapped, the substitution in, and I'm going for Botman. Is for me, I just feel like
that was my one.
Botman's good shout, mate.
Him and Jose Fonte this season have like kept so many clean sheets. Like Lille are top of the league, they're flying through it, they're beating everyone, and their clean sheet record, I think it's one of the best in Europe. It definitely was like 2-3 weeks ago. It was so good. They were like up there with the most clean sheets in Europe, and he's a great player. And again, he will not be too much money. I don't know how much is it, like 20-30 million between ish. I don't know. But I feel like for me, Botman, I feel like he could definitely be the one to partner Van Dijk. I think Gomez, too many injuries. I love Gomez. He's done it at the high level. He's shown what he's capable of. Botman, for me, is just very good. I know they got knocked out in Europa League, but I feel like in the league, I know it's a bit of a walking league, but I feel like he's a great talent, young, and he's not going to cost you too much, and can be a great prospect for the future. Young, if he improves, maybe sell him for a few more, or even keep him. So when Van Dijk moves on, he could be the next Van Dijk, maybe not as good, but you know what I mean? I just feel like he can definitely fit next to Van Dijk perfectly.
But will he get Phillips out of the team? That's the main question, Finn.
Here we go. He's having a go at everyone taking off the red goggles, Conroy. You take off the red.
I'm just winding you.
No, Conroy, we play a 3. We play Virgil. Phillips,
hey, clean sheets every game with that, though, you know. I wouldn't mind that.
Jersey boy, your 3 players, who are they?
Ooh, so I'm not going to go for the unrealistic options. I'm going to go on the fact that, let's say we don't get top 4. I would like Botman. How much is Botman's value?
Around 30.
I think it's like 30
million.
Not saying him. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
30-35.
He's good.
Simple, because we waited too late. We were going to get collector car, but because we did it on the last day, they said no because they didn't have a replacement. If we did it a few days before, we wouldn't have got cover. We would have got collector car.
So is collector car the first? Do you think he's the number one? You think he's ahead of Botman then?
I wouldn't.
Nah, not
say
anymore.
Botman.
No, I think Botman.
He's faster, Botman, isn't he? So I'm surprised.
He's got everything, Botman.
He is fast for a tall guy.
Yeah.
He is
He's got
fast.
everything.
Strange why he didn't go
He
for
ticks
him
all
in
the
January.
boxes.
Strange.
Plays over the back. He can play the high line. He can do it. He can do everything. So I feel like for me, he's the perfect for Liverpool for the system.
This is the thing, right? His value might increase if he goes to play for the Netherlands. If he does well. If he's
on the bigger screen. If he's like,
I think he's gonna get.
And like United could be interested as well. And if they come sniffing, Leo's go, sack that and go up to 40 million, and then you're battling with them and it's gonna keep on rising. So, and I think if they would have got him in January, that would have been such a great purchase. But I think they've left it too late. But I'd still like to see him come for 30 million.
Good shot.
I don't know who else really.
You know what to say, Jez? Jimenez. Say it, mate. It's fine. Just say it. Jimenez.
Well, no. I would love Jimenez, but the problem is he going to be as good as he was? Because I know he did crack his skull, but he's probably going to have to be a little bit like Peter Cech.
No, I know. I know.
Wearing a thing on his head, and you might not want to die for those headers anymore because it's. Where he cracked the skull was a very risky part. It could have killed him if it climbed to his brain.
Mate, definitely.
So I'm trying to think. I would love someone like Grealish, but Grealish, I don't know if you want to go to us, but I'm not going to swear. But go on, I'll put Grealish on.
Grealish.
How much do you think
Botman, Grealish? Who's your last?
How much is his value?
I'm going to say Grealish is around 80 mil.
80 mil.
That's not
Okay. So
bad,
how
by
much?
the way.
How
That's
much have I
not
got
bad.
left? How much have I got left?
So we're gonna say Botman's 30, Grealish is 80.
So I
That's
got
110. So you got 90 million left.
Mbappe, let's go. See you later.
No, Mbappe's 200 mil. No,
Yeah, I know, mate.
I've got it. Now I've got it. Now I've got to think of a striker.
£1 offer there.
Now I've got to think of a striker.
Harry Kane.
No,
He's about 200
Kane
mil,
go
isn't
for
he?
could
Yeah,
Kane
he's
go
big
for
shot.
90 million?
No,
Yeah.
he does.
I think he was.
It's dependent.
Levy,
No,
Levy
Cal,
is-
Cal,
Levy.
No, Cal, it's dependent if Harry Kane puts in a transfer request. Then it's
He
different.
will, because
I don't think he will,
He
guys.
will.
bottled it
No,
today.
Kane will.
Doesn't
Kane
seem
will.
that type of person. Doesn't seem that type
No,
of
no,
person.
Levy.
Conrad.
Have we underestimated Daniel Levy?
No,
Are you-
but look,
no. This is the thing, right?
they're
If
losing 2-0 to
Tottenham don't-
Zagreb.
If they don't get Champions
No,
League and don't win a
yeah.
trophy this season, he is going to leave.
Yeah,
He will.
Ram, I hear you, but I think there'll be a team who offer more than Liverpool, and Levy will sell
Yeah,
to that.
but didn't in
Madrid
an
or
interview he said after like 3 years, if I don't win a trophy or something, I'd be very disappointed or something. Didn't he say? I
but-
swear down that came.
No, I think he
Yeah.
will leave, guys, but I just think it's going to be a lot more. And then Madrid obviously will be looking. I'm not saying if they've got that type of money, but Madrid possibly that would be ideal destination because he won't sell to anybody in the Premier League. And he's done dealings with Madrid before, with Modric and Bale. He's a very smart guy, Daniel Levy. Very smart. That's like they're ran well. So I can't see him coming to us, unfortunately, Ram.
I will love him, but what I'm just saying is, he want to leave. Like right now, Spurs have actually bottled their lead against Zagreb. They're going out if they don't
Are they?
score. Yeah,
Ram,
it's
let's start
2-0
tweeting about
now.
it again. Let's start tweeting about it, mate. The
Wait,
Kane train.
is it
Start
2-0?
tweeting
Or is it 2-0?
No, it's 2-0. It's
2-0.
it's gone to extra time, but no joke, because Zagreb have turned it to Manchester City. They've got like 18 chance, 3 on target. They're absolutely thrashing.
Hey, Zagreb have got a good team. They've got good young.
they have.
Yeah,
They've got
Who's
so
your third?
I think Kane will go. So I'm going to go Kane, but I don't think he's worth 90. He's not
I
gonna
would
go for
believe in the
90
Kane
million, is
hype. I just think when Cal told me like the circumstances with Levy and the other money mentioned
he?
before.
No, yeah,
and
no.
offer,
He'll go to like Real Madrid or something.
Liverpool won't offer the money that someone else
No.
will, and he's not got any.
I don't
loving
want him anywhere
towards
near my
Liverpool.
club. I don't like the man.
Don't like Harry Kane. He's like one of the nicest guys in football.
I don't
Right,
like him.
He's a bit dirty. He's
Is
a player,
that
but
thing where he
England,
jumps? I
hey,
hate that.
Jordan Henderson,
It's
Harry
something-
Kane, besties,
Yeah.
besties. Wait, besties together. You know what I mean? Jordan
I'd
Henderson.
take Harry Kane like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
man.
take
I
him.
don't
I'll
like
take
him.
him.
Yeah,
I don't
I
like
agree.
what he's been doing. I watched that clip of AFTV when he says he's
took
done
out.
it again. When
Yeah.
he
You know, but
jumps
everything he
and
does
he
with it,
crosses the player.
he means back into players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did it into
don't
the
like
line.
that.
Dangerous,
Don't get me
man.
wrong.
Dangerous.
There's a lot
I
of dirty
don't-
players out there. Let's not lie.
Yeah. All right, Mons,
Here's a
who's your
ball.
3?
All right, guys.
Here
I'm gonna go for a centre mid because I don't think Wijnaldum will stay. Nor do I feel like I want him to stay because I feel like if he wanted to stay, he would have signed by now. Or maybe I don't know. I won't go into that too tough, but I want Tielemans. He's someone I've had my eye on for a while, and Tielemans for me, as decision making as a CM, I feel like he does burn out quite early. And that is his problem. So I don't know if he'll work in a Klopp system, but I think he is someone who can be adapted. This is what I want, by the way.
I think that's going to be around 80 mil though, right?
That's fine. Yeah, that's cool.
So you got
That's what it
120
is.
mil left.
That's fine, or 120 mil. I planned this one. See, I knew y'all was gonna say that. You know, I knew y'all was gonna say that. So Barcelona actually owe us 50 million in installments.
They don't.
Oh, did they not? Oh, did they not?
Cal told me this last week, by the way.
Yeah.
I was going to say continue as well.
I was about to say because
We'll call it a draw. Just give us them back.
just give us. Why don't they just give us the team back and we'll just bring.
So that money's been paid to Liverpool already, apparently, because the debt's been sold to a third party, basically. So Barca owe a bank money. They don't owe Liverpool any money. That money's been paid to us.
I hate
It's disappointing, isn't it? I was disappointed as well. I was like,
all right, cool. I actually had the plan of that's why I said Tielemans. So I retract Tielemans. And I have to retract that. Damn, I actually had a plan. I thought that through, but I did have a backup, so it's fine. I'll go from defense then. So I also think Botman is the man for us. If you look at his attributes and how fast he is and how he gets across the ground, Botman was someone who I really think is a great shout for Liverpool. Another name in defence, I'm not going to put down, but like Sule's not getting a lot of game time at Bayern Munich, and Sule is an incredible
Too
defender.
slow for me.
Injury prone.
slow.
I don't want no more injuries. No more injuries, please. Thank you.
I wouldn't say he's that slow. No, I think once he gets going, man. Sule's
That's what
Sule.
That's what the
You can say that about Virgil van Philips once.
He's injured.
No, I know, but to be fair, Bayern
It's
play a high
injuries,
line,
bro.
so you need to have reasonable speed months. So I
Yeah.
keep saying them, mate. They play a
Yeah,
very high
trust me.
line.
Sule is no slouch. Trust me,
He's not a slouch. He's not.
He's no slouch.
he's-
I get what you mean about the injuries, because this year has been a bit with the fitness
And last year,
the
and
end
last
of last year. Yeah, the end of last year as well. So I hear what you're saying. But anyway, the first choice was Botman. I would go and get Haaland, but obviously, again, Botman and Haaland, how much money do I have left? Roughly, how much money we talking?
20 mil. 20 mil. Because
I'm
I
like
did them
20
for
mil.
All right, so Botman's about 30. I'm going to say, I know Dortmund has said 150 for Haaland. I'm going to say 120 for Haaland.
120.
Okay.
Oh, can I make
And
those? I'm only messing.
See how now, I was thinking.
I'm messing.
You got 50 left.
So
You got 50
obviously
left.
we could say, let Jones develop and go bring a Pedro Neto. Do you know what I mean? However, I'm a massive fan of Podence. I think he gives me
I forgot someone as well.
Hazard. He gives me Hazard vibes, and it's very, very scary. Podence for me, I feel like in a better team, and people say that, obviously Jimenez is the obvious part of the key that's missing for them in their system, and it's very true. But have people forgotten that Podence has been injured, and he's also played a key part in coming deep, getting the ball, spreading the ball, barely losing the ball, going and beating a player, giving Neto the freedom. Because I feel like he played a massive part in making Neto look as good as he did as well, because of how good he actually is. But yeah, I feel like Podence, I'm not sure where exactly he would play, because he's kind of like got that Shaqiri vibe where, he can drop into CM, or he can go out wide, or he can kind of come in as a 10. He's quite versatile, and I think maybe I do have this infatuation with versatile players. But but yeah, it'll probably be Podence, Haaland, and Botman for me, and then just let Curtis develop in the CM.
Fair enough.
And yeah, in my dreams, get Coutinho back, because Coutinho was. I have a special relationship. With Philippe. I have a special relationship with Philippe. Sorry, man. I'll take him back in
30
a heart.
million, they'd take it though. Do you think if they offered like 25 million, Barca would accept it?
Yeah, well, they load him out
They need him off
every
the
year.
books. They need him off the books.
They
Do you
want him
think
gone
that
in.
would be
They load
crazy?
him
Do you
out
think-
all the time.
Would you spend 20 million on Coutinho? Would you try their hand?
Oh, no, it won't be 20
Yeah.
mil. You're about 35.
Yeah.
I'll
take him well back.
I'll take him for
definitely.
40. I'll take him for 30, 40. We sold him for 140 bags, a million bags. Like I will 100% take him back. No one's
Is he
outside
the
box.
same
We
player?
need
I
him
think
more
he
than
is,
you
but
think.
other people don't think he is.
Yeah, I don't like me.
Let them think that
Exactly.
until he spins one
He-
top bins. Let
Yeah,
them
he
think
did
that.
well. He did well at Bayern. I think he wasn't that
He
bad
did,
at Bayern
yeah.
when he went on his loan spell. I
He's
think
won a
he was
league in the
still
Champions
wasn't
League.
as-
He's been successful.
wasn't as good as he was at us, but
Yeah.
he was still pushing at that. Whereas Barca, he had the odd game, but when he went on loan
Yeah.
to Bayern, he was decent. He was,
There's certain
team.
luxury players. I agree with Finn. Look at James when he come back. They did the same thing with James, obviously, when he went on loan and done reasonably well at Bayern. And when James has gone to Everton, I wouldn't even say James has really got his legs. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys. I don't really think
he
he's
showed
got
some
the
class
legs.
though.
But
He's done
he's
well.
been good. Like James, you can see the difference. Like James is, these men that come
And
from
he's
Madrid
been round the
and
block as
Barca,
well, and he got
literally.
loaned out so many times as well.
and the class don't go. I think Coutinho is one of them luxury players where the minute we
I
see
agree.
him knocking that ball about, you go, oh, damn, we forgot how good this guy is. This is mad. Like
I'll back you, Mont. You've convinced me, mate. I'll back you. We'll get him back. I'll back you, mate.
What are you,
Told you about
Rams, what are
Gachi,
you
guys.
saying?
No, he gave me 200 mil.
If he says Florenzi, I'm actually gonna leave. I'm not even messing.
I got 6. Wait, Cal, I got 6 players in mind, bro. I got 6.
You can only have 3,
Sergio
though.
Roberto, Florenzi. Here we go, boys. Here we go.
Absolutely went for it. I
got
thought he was going to sign off there. He's away.
That's a lot of money. Wait, Cal, that's a lot of money, bro. That's a lot of money.
Come on, 3 players.
On
Right.
average age will be 30. All the players you'll be signing.
Probably, but that's not the point. Okay, the top 3 players I would get We need a striker. I'll go for Harry Class A. Harry Kane.
That's I'll be real with you. That's about 150 gone.
No, it's not. Cow.
It is, bro. Daniel Levy's not going to deal for anything less.
I want him, so we can't sign Florenzi or something stupid like that.
Fine. Take out Harry Kane then.
All right.
For a creative mid, I got two choices. I was thinking of either Marcel Sabitzer or Danny Olmo. Either one of those two. Because they're pretty good.
Marcel was good in the second leg, the first half, I think. He got some good choices.
Marcel Sabitzer, I'll go for Marcel Sabitzer because he can play multiple positions. You know how I like my players.
Who does Olmo play for now?
He plays for Leipzig. They both play for Leipzig. Yeah.
Didn't he play for Zagreb or something last year?
Sabitzer will be about, I'd say about 35 mil.
Yeah.
35 mil. Centre back, Botman, easy. I think Varane. I'm talking about realistically here. Varane we're not going to get. So I think Botman's going to be the guy. Brilliant player.
So you spent 65.
Hey, look,
you've got about 135 left.
I've got a good budget here. I told you I could get 4, 5, 6 players. But if I was going to splash the cash on one player, I'll probably get Haaland for about 120 mil.
Fair enough. That's all right. So we all agree.
Can I just mention a player that no one's mentioned?
I'm going to do mine. So let me see if I mention one.
Sorry.
Let me see if I mention the player. So, all right. So, Haaland's the first name.
He's using it all in NATO.
So, look, I'm going to be real with you. Straight off the bat, Haaland's coming in, innit? He's got to come in.
Yeah,
so that's 120 mil gone. So, I got 80 left. Pedro Neto's coming in. Like, 50 mil. 50 mil at Pedro Neto.
Yeah,
like Neto's got to come. He's got to come.
No brainer, Cal. No brainer, Neto.
It's got to be. It's got to be him. So I've got 30 mil now to spend on a centre back. I'm actually gonna go for Militao from Real Madrid.
Good shout.
And the reason I say that is because he can cover for right back as well.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go, Rams. There's a utilised player.
That's a good one. So instead of like playing Nico Williams, you could play Militao.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let Nico go out on loan.
Yeah,
good thing.
I
He needs to go on loan, I think.
Yeah, I think someone that no one's mentioned, which I think we'll all kick ourselves, is Rafinha from Leeds. He's a baller, you know. Every time I see him play, I just think he just terrorizes everyone, you know, and cuts in on the left foot, free kicks. He's good at. I think like Neto, but I think I'd have Neto so far because he's shown it more. I'd go for Neto, but I feel
20.
Yeah.
Young.
I think
young.
Podence.
I just feel like just because Neto.
Someone said Podence. Who said that?
A shout though. I think he'd cost like
Munich are in for him as well, Finn. I think Munich are in for him.
Yeah, Bayern are in for him.
But I think he's very good. But I just think now because he had more experience in the league and at a high level.
And his trajectory's improved much quicker. And I'd say I don't like when people say suits the system because it's not all about system players. But I'm not sure when we play Rafinha off the bat. I know he can play different positions, but you know Neto will go right or left and be brilliant. I'm going to change mine, Cal. I'm going to change mine to Neto instead of Sergio Roberto because I'd have collect a car. Collect a car, right? and Neto, but the thing is, Neto's unrealistic because Wilson aren't going to sell 2 players, so that's
Oh no, we'll give him Origi.
Give him Origi.
Yeah. Oh wait. Talking about the Haaland deal.
No, we've already done player sales, Rams. 200 is all we've got.
No, but talk about Haaland deal. They want Origi, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, bro. I would take my Ford Fiesta and I'll drive Origi wherever he wants to
go. I don't know what he does because I'm like, you obviously just don't watch Liverpool games because it's like Dortmund for Origi. I'm like, what?
Yeah, one thing I will say about Dortmund, which is why strikers I think thrive there is that they build their system around the striker. No, I'm obviously not stupid. Origi's not in the same class as Haaland.
They didn't do very well at Immobile, did they? Because Immobile's at Lazio killing it, and he couldn't work it
true,
out, did they?
true.
Yeah.
But if there's a system suited for a striker, it's Dortmund.
But
Yeah,
remember,
definitely.
Michi Batshuayi did very well. at Dortmund.
Alcacer done bits there.
Yeah,
as well.
should never have left Alcacer. That was stupid anyway.
He was so good for them, man.
He had like a ridiculous stat, didn't he? Like he'd scored so many goals. Brilliant.
Sorry, Finn. Say that again, Finn.
Didn't everything did quite well in Wolfsburg, didn't he? When he went, I know he didn't do
No,
it
he
amazing,
was-
but he
no, he
scored.
was-
No, it was rubbish.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but he scored
To be
goals.
fair-
He scored.
No, we don't want to
goals.
remind Dortmund that.
Someone
no,
phoned
no.
Bizzle,
No,
someone
no, no,
phoned
We
no.
want
Bizzle, and he's
Dortmund
doing
to
his
take him,
stats
not
ready.
get rid of him. Not.
Now, to be fair, Wolfsburg don't play a system that caters to Origi.
No.
Yeah, I thought he scored a couple of goals. I thought he did
I mean,
alright,
unless he was
I'm
going to
guessing.
play off Dest when he lost it. Like, I
Cal,
don't
can
know.
I ask one more question?
Yeah, I'm like,
Origi plus
I'm like
80
you
mil.
lot trying to kill this Haaland deal. Speaking about Origi at Wolfsburg,
Cal, can
and
I
the football
ask
terrorists
one
get good
question?
views.
Can I ask you one question, Cal? Do you think?
Go
See,
for
I was looking at the contracts there, just interesting ones. I think most of them too high wages, like Draxler, for example, too high wage. See, Alaba, right? Now I know that's kind of quieting down. Is that a lost cause? Do you think, or is there any life in that?
He's gone to Madrid, didn't he? I think he's
Yeah,
gone
he's
to
rich.
Madrid.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's asking something stupid like £300,000 a week.
No, but
And
is that-
apparently
is
he doesn't
that-
want to play in
is that
defence.
confirmed? Is that confirmed that he's going to Madrid, or is it still up
Yeah,
in the
well,
air?
it's like
No, that's what he wants to do.
Romano said that is like that's because there was a couple of people like we were in there with him. I think City and
Yeah.
United might have been there, but I think he
When you
chose
talk
Real
about
Madrid. I think
adaptability, Alaba's next level for me. Centre back, left back, centre
I
mid.
pray
he
to
he
God
was the
Man City
best
don't get
defender
out.
last year for me. Other than Van
The
Dijk,
thing
he's
is,
probably the
I've
best
heard-
defender.
Oh my
The
god!
thing is, I heard Alaba said he wanted to be in midfield, not defence anymore. I think he said somewhere that he doesn't want to be in defence anymore.
He could get that. Real
Yeah,
Madrid.
Yeah, because
So I think he said to Real Madrid he wants to be in. So if we get Alaba, he would be asking to play midfield, not defence.
Yeah, and Fabulous
if-
is not moving. Like that one once.
if
Got
Gini
it.
if Gini wants to go, all I'm saying, Alaba, he's very good at long range. He could cross the ball. He could do everything. All I'm saying, I'm just
I wrote
saying.
Florenzi
No,
around
I
the
would
league
take
on
Alaba.
Yeah, I'd take Alaba like that.
Yeah.
But Liverpool will never pay them type of wages for anyone
Yeah,
other
that's
than Mbappe.
yeah.
or Haaland.
He's asking for stupid amount of
And especially with
Apart
Van
from
Dijk.
Messi, apart from Messi, the best player who's available on a free as things stand is probably Donnarumma.
No, Mina Raiola, no.
No, but in terms of
Donnarumma
just
anyway,
player,
are they?
but
He's taking the
Haaland's
goalkeeper.
represented by Raiola as well.
I know, forgetting that. Right?
Yeah,
You're
but
not
then
coming.
someone else told me that his dad is the main orchestrator for everything.
I don't
know.
care who Haaland's agent is. I care what Haaland does on the pitch, bro. And Haaland is devastating. Like his agent could be Sergio Ramos for all I care, bro. Sergio Ramos ain't the one stepping on the football pitch. It's gonna be Haaland.
Yeah,
And he's gonna be slotting goals. So, but yeah, a little bit of fun to end the show. So, people in the comments, it's down to you now. You got 200 mil to spend, 3 players. Let us know the prices of the players and the players you're trying to get. Not 6 like Rams.
No,
Rams is
man.
on this FSG tip, trying to spread the cost over. Three players, 200 mil, premium players, and we'll see what you guys say. But I want to say a massive thank you to the panel as always. So just going to go around the circle. Where can they find you, Finn?
Welford TV on YouTube and Instagram. So come over, do live
Super.
streams, and everyone on the panel is always on. So yeah, you'll see some regular faces on there.
Lovely. Conroy.
You can find me on Twitter at @_Conroy H. So you can find me on that, guys.
Super. Jersey Boy.
The Jersey Boy channel or on Vine LFC doing watch alongs and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Super.
There you go.
Months, where can the people find you, bro?
Big Six Bands, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And _Monts is my Instagram. _Montel is my Instagram.
Perfect. And then Rams, what about yourself, bro?
You can find me here on the Football Terrace, just talking about Liverpool and whatever, everything to do with Premier League. Follow my Twitter, LRB Rams, and my YouTube is LRB Rams without the underscore.
Super. So make sure, guys, you go and support all of these fantastic Liverpool supporters. Great channels, great stuff that they're doing. Please go and support them, people. But been a lovely show. I've enjoyed this one. Obviously, nice
Yeah, it's
little
a good one.
change from international break. So yeah, we'll have a few more fun shows before the next game against Arsenal. But thank you for joining. Click the likes, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Head over to Manscaped, get 20% off to keep yourself well groomed. And until next time, people, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm Callum, and we're out, people. Take care.